Captain, thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Let's start off talking about the mission of the Comfort and how things have been going since arriving here in New York 3 weeks ago.
It's been going very well. We all know that our mission changed from a COVID negative initial mission set to that of a COVID positive. We continue to work with the city of New York and the Javits Center. We took on board over 180 patients. We've been able to discharge well over 120. We got about 40 still on board. We will continue to work with the state and FEMA to ensure that all those patients that we still have on board are safely and methodically transferred to a facility that can provide the same level of care that we had for them aboard the ship.
We certainly always like to hear those number of discharges go up, that's for sure. Originally, and you mentioned it, you were caring for non-COVID patients. That changed once you arrived. How big of a challenge was that pivot that you had to take?
It really wasn't. The military, especially the Navy, is very, very good at being flexible and responsive to change. So we had to do a couple of things as far as the physical environment. We became even more stringent with CDC guidelines related to PPE, social distancing, disinfecting of the areas. We actually moved about half the crew off of the ship to maximize that social distancing requirement, to decompress the ship as a whole. So we did everything we could when our mission switched out of a COVID positive population to ensure for the safety of both our crew and the patients.
I mean, we've never, gone through anything like this. So I had to wonder about the precautions that were taken, precautions that really we haven't had to use before. I mean, a lot of this is new to all of us.
Yes, it is. So the ship has been on many, many missions, whether it was in support of major combat operations, humanitarian or disaster. And there are commonalities through all of those missions, but the COVID response and the strict adherence to PPE and the CDC guidelines are really what makes this one stand out.
And you did have some crew members test positive. How are they doing tonight?
They're doing great. We've had a total of 5 throughout the duration of our stay here. 4 of them have returned to work and are doing great. And the 5th one is on their way to recovery and should be back to work here in just a couple days.
Certainly always glad to hear that. That's for sure. Talk just before I let you go, why is it important to have a ship like this during a time of crisis like what we are going through right now? I know you guys are going to go somewhere else next, but it really is important to have you there, especially in areas, like an epicenter like New York that needs it.
Sure. Whether it's at New York or Louisiana or Puerto Rico or some other place around the world, an asset like this is really something that's important to our nation. It's important to both our elected officials as well as that of us in uniform. This is a very, very powerful tool. It's an instrument of peace for sure and goodwill that we have an opportunity to share and to provide a service to those in need.
Well, we can't thank you enough for what you do all the time year round, especially during times like this. It certainly does bring us comfort. Captain, thank you so much for speaking with us tonight.